going to attempt a reading vlog this week because I've had to not post some of my recent reading vlogs that I have filmed. But this one, if you're watching this, yay, I'm so happy that you are, that it's on the internet for you to enjoy. So I hope you do enjoy it. This week, what I want to read is thrillers. You guys know that that's like my main genre, and it might be the reason you're even here on this channel is because you know that I read thrillers. And I feel like lately I have not been reading as many as I should be. Basically, what I want to read this week is thrillers that I have not freaking gotten to yet for whatever reason. This is, besides his new one, this is the only other one that I have not read yet, and it's a problem. Why haven't I read it yet? So Lock Every Door. I've read every other Riley Sager, again, aside from his newest one, the only one left. I do not own a copy of that one yet, so I cannot read it yet. But I need to read this one first and foremost, because if I don't, it's just going to keep getting pushed off. I'm also currently reading Divine Rivals. I know that's not a thriller, don't yell at me, but Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I love The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That's probably my favorite fantasy because it's like urban fantasy and, you know, the vibes. And I've heard Divine Rivals be compared to that, and with the writing and everything kind of being like lyrical. I assume people have said that, so I'm gonna take their word for it. And I've only read the first chapter, but I do kind of want to read more of this. It's not a thriller, but it's a newer one that people are kind of raving about right now, so I want to stay relevant and I want to read it too. Also on my Kindle, a thriller that I found on Kindle Unlimited called Summer Rental by Rektok Ross, which is kind of funny because it's like very similar to Rebecca Ross. I'm gonna just show you the cover right here on my iPad because I'm trying to save myself the editing pain of trying to put this graphic on the screen myself, like in post. I'm having to go the more simple route with editing lately because of my laptop issues, but I'm tired of talking about that. So long story short, this is what that book looks like. This one, I've not heard anything about. I just saw it on Kindle Unlimited and I downloaded it because I did want to read like some more like summery vibes for August, because then once September comes, it's fall, and I wanted to try and squeeze this in because it's still summer. I was intrigued by the cover. It says it's Mean Girls meets Scream, and it's about this group of girls. I assume it's all girls stranded on an island with a serial killer. That's all I needed to know. The isolated setting, serial killer, island vibes. Hopefully it's good. I don't know. If I have time to add another one on, I'll let you know. But I don't want to overwhelm myself with the TBR right out the gate and then, like, you know, just be stressed. I don't know which one I'm gonna start first, because like I said, I'm already one chapter into Divine Rivals, so maybe what I could do is like try a chapter of these other two. I've never done that before, but I'm thinking maybe this is the perfect time to do that. I'm going to read the first chapter of Lock Every Door and the first chapter of Summer Rental, and then compare the three and see which one I want to continue with right now at the moment today. Okay, so I've read the first chapter of both Lock Every Door and Summer Rental, and I think I'm actually going to continue with Summer Rental because I feel like it's going to be super quick and easy read, especially because it's on my Kindle. I feel like I'm going to get through it really, really quickly. The first chapter wasn't like super gripping or anything, and I've found out that it is YA, so again, like super easy read. Wasn't like the cheesiest thing I've ever read, but now knowing that it is YA, I feel like it is going to get a little cheesy, which is disappointing because I was hoping that it was an adult thriller. It is following 5 girls who just graduated high school. The main character, her name is Riley, and her friends are twin sisters Val and Cam, and then there's Blake and Nia. And there's already like drama within that friend group. Girls are jealous of each other, and I guess one of them's dating the other one's ex-boyfriend, and they're like inviting them to this summer rental that they're staying at for 4th of July weekend. One of the boys that they're like friends with, his name is Jonathan. His sister Jordan died last year, literally exactly a year ago, 4th of July weekend. There's already been like some phrases thrown in about murder. They said something about like how the twins, Cam, would let Val get away with murder or something like that. And then there's also just like things being dropped in that you can just tell like it might get cheesy because they're already referring to these characters in like a sarcastic way revolving around murder. So I don't know, we'll see. Obviously it's just the first chapter, so I'll come back once I've read a lot more and keep you updated on how that's going. But that's basically what it's about. All of her friends are rich, and Riley herself used to be rich because her dad, but then he got in trouble with like fraud or something, so then her mom got a divorce, and then they changed their last name and moved to Florida, so now she's not as rich anymore, but all of her friends are rich. They just graduated from this prep school. Yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. No, say what you just said.
Oh, what?
Nothing. Don't feel bad about not finishing a book or something.
Don't feel bad about not finishing that book, bub. That book didn't deserve your eyes.
That's right. Thank you for that validation. I'll not be finishing that book.
If the book sucks, it doesn't deserve to be read anyway.
What he said. I definitely don't have a problem with DNFing. In fact, I really enjoy it. I do it often because I'm a firm believer in not reading books that you don't want to. I'm very passionate about that. And I saw someone I follow on Instagram post about how she's already DNF'd 4 books this year. And I'm like, girl, I DNF'd that many just last month. I don't know how many I've DNF'd like throughout the whole year, but definitely a lot. And I'm okay with that. Reasons I will DNF a book is if I don't own it, it's not an author I've read from before, and in general I haven't heard really anything about the book. Or on the flip side, if I have heard things and it's all like mediocre things. Those are reasons why if I'm not enjoying it within the first 50%, I will definitely DNF it. And I've also DNF'd books after the first 50%. I've gotten a good chunk through the book and I'm like almost done with it, but sometimes I'll still just like DNF it because I don't really care. All that to say, I did DNF Summer Rental about 60 pages in, so like 20% of the way through. I was just not enjoying it. And I would definitely say that it meets the criteria of Mean Girls meets Scream, emphasis on the Mean Girls, because the story was mostly just about their drama, stereotypical mean girl shit. They weren't talking anything about the atmosphere. There was a couple things that were suspenseful, but it was mostly just this friend group of girls, and then a bunch of the guys are thrown into the picture right away too, and so then it's just like about who likes who and who's prettier and like all this dramatic stuff that I don't care about at all. I would say it's also very similar to season 1 of Pretty Little Liars. Definitely similar themes with like there being a girl missing. It's been a whole year since she died, and you find out that she killed herself because of some video that got out of her kissing a girl, which just not, no. So the dialogue was really hard to read, and I hated all the characters. I read some reviews on Goodreads, and everyone was saying that it doesn't get like actiony or thrilling at all until like 60 or 70%. I was like, no, I don't got time for that. No thanks. Even though it is less than 300 pages, it's pretty short. I did not want to waste my time with it. Bye-bye. I quickly bit that in the bud, returned it to Kindle Unlimited, and started reading more of Lock Every Door. And I'm currently on page 146, chapter 20 of this, and I love it. Obviously, so far it's going great because it's Riley Sager's writing, and I'm a big fan of that. This is very similar to The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. It has almost an identical opening scene in the first chapter with the main girl, Jules, looking to find a job because she's broke, and she happens upon this job listing for an apartment sitter at the Bartholomew, which pays like $4,000 a month just to live there and occupy the space. So she thinks, why the hell not? I need the money and I'm getting paid literally just to live here. I'll take it. But the woman who like offers her the job tells her about all of the rules when staying at the Bartholomew, and some of them are kind of like ridiculous rules. A bunch of like rich and famous people live here, so you're not like allowed to talk to them unless they talk to you first. You're not allowed to have any visitors. No one can know anything about this place because they like their privacy. It starts with her like meeting some of the residents, some of the people who work there, like the doorman and things like that. She meets other apartment sitters and she becomes acquaintances with one of those apartment sitters named Ingrid. And then the next day, like Ingrid goes missing and Jules thinks there's something up with that, but everyone else is just saying like, oh, she just moved out. But she doesn't understand why Ingrid would do that based on previous conversation that they had together. She just thinks the whole thing is weird. So it kind of goes from there. It takes place in New York, and the apartment, her unit or whatever, like overlooks Central Park. It's definitely setting up for a creepy vibe because the Bartholomew has a gothic decor, like gargoyles and just it being like an old building in general. I like the main character, Jules. I'm enjoying this. I'm excited to finish it. It's a super fast read. I forgot how much I just love Riley Sager's books because they're so quick and easy to read. They're the best. I might want to pick up and read more of Divine Rivals if I'm in the mood, or if I want more like thriller vibes, then I have a few other ones on my Kindle that we can decide on. But yeah, that's the update for now. I do have to go to work today. When I come home, read some more. Lock Every Door. Maybe finish it tonight. I don't know. I do have to go somewhere with Riley after I pick him up from work. We have to go to a place for his job. He has to do something, and I was like, I'll come with you, keep you company. And then tonight is family book club from 8 to 9 p.m. ish. So I have that stuff to do too. I will be back with another update later. Just a quick update while I'm here in the library parking lot. I just dropped off a book that I DNF'd. Yeah, so not important, and it was not for this vlog, so it's okay. I also had a dentist appointment this morning, so I did all that. Now I've got work later, but I wanted to update you that I finished Lock Every Door, and you know, it was kind of underwhelming for me, and not one of my favorite Riley Sagers, that's for sure. Just was not like super interested in what was going on. I gave it 3.75 stars. Originally, I did not think that it was going to be like my new favorite Riley Sager by any means, but then I had higher hopes for it because I was doing some research on like thriller readers that I follow, and I was getting their take on that book specifically. And a lot of people, and like watching like Riley Sager tier ranking videos and whatever, and a lot of people that I saw had Lock Every Door pretty high on their list, if not number one. And so I was like, maybe there's something about this that I'm like not expecting is gonna be like, I'm not expecting it to be that good. So I went into it right before. I was like, okay, maybe it's like gonna be pretty good. But it wasn't. Like, I liked the premise, but I didn't like where it went, and I didn't like the reveal or anything like that. So that's that. But I'm obviously glad that I read it because my goal is to read all of his books. So I have his newest one, the only one left, on hold at the library actually, but I'm like 130th in line or something. So I'm not gonna get that for a while. But when I do, I'm excited to read it. Now, I don't really know what I want to read. I tried to get more through Divine Rivals last night on my Kindle in bed, and I got up to chapter 4. I just don't think that that's like really what I'm in the mood for right now. So I also have on my Kindle an Alice Feeney book that I haven't read called His and Hers. So I think that I will probably try and read that because I do want to kind of stick to the thriller idea here. So I might try that because I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors by that author and I wanted to read another one of hers. So I'll try and read that one and see how that goes. But yeah, that's the update. It's hot today. It's so hot. I love summer, but living in the desert and it gets like really hot, I'm just ready for it to be fall and winter. But I'm gonna miss summer once it's gone, so it's just a constant battle. Anyway, my phone is like probably overheating now. It just dimmed on me, so I'm gonna go. I will check back in with you once I have a reading update. I'm at work reading His and Hers, and I'm loving it. Only on page 55, but I will tell you more about it when I get home. Just wanted to let you know that I'm loving it. Hello, it is now Saturday evening, and it's super nice and rainy outside because of Hurricane Hillary, and it like never rains in Vegas, so I'm really enjoying the cozy vibes of it all. But I actually just got home from a night out with my in-laws because they're here for the weekend. And so we went out to dinner, we went out to lunch, we went out to dinner, walked around shops and stuff like that with them in the rain. So like that was fun. But now I'm glad to be home and like cozy all up with it still raining outside. I wanted to give updates for this vlog because I do want to get it up for you guys tomorrow. I did finish already His and Hers by Alice Feeney on my Kindle. I said that I was loving it when I first started it at work because I was really liking the first 50 to 100 pages because I was enjoying her writing, I was enjoying the setup, I was enjoying not knowing the connections to the characters right away, and also going into it completely blind made it really enjoyable. So it was fun to learn as I go for the beginning of the book, and so I was loving it. And then 100 pages later, when it hit like 150 pages, that's about 50% of the way through the book because it's only like 304 pages, I completely just lost interest. The whole thing derailed and it was not great. Let me back up and say that it starts out with it saying like there's two sides to every story, yours and mine, theirs and ours, and then his and hers or whatever. So basically that's what you're reading, is you're reading from him and then you're reading from her, and then you're also reading from the killer. Things are happening, like there's a murder. Him and her, their names are Anna and Jack. So they used to be married and other stuff. They have a past, but then they separated, they got a divorce, and she wants to be like a news anchor of this news channel, but she was a fill-in for somebody for a while, and then that other person came back, so then she kind of like got kicked off the job a little bit. So she's kind of salty about that and like wants to be like the main newscaster person. So like that's her story. And then his story is that he's a detective with like the British police or whatever. He is investigating this murder that happens in the beginning of the book. And then she wants to cover the story of the murder. This murder like reconnects them in a way where they like see each other after however long it had been, but they've both like moved on and are kind of like with other people or whatever. So it's like the story is like reading from each of their perspectives about what's going on, but like I feel like that wasn't that important for the overall story. Like, it didn't have an impact to be reading from their separate perspectives at all. Like, I totally lost interest after it wasn't going in a direction that I thought it was going in. And then Alice Feeney added like way too many more characters after I was like already connected to the main two people. Then she was starting to throw in like friend groups, which I personally don't like. I don't like friend groups in books, and I think that might be partly because I don't have a friend group in real life, so it's never gonna be relatable for me. I just like don't have friends, so I don't like it when there is a friend group type thing in books, or like I hate the found family trope. I just generally don't love when there's a huge cast of characters. Sometimes it works for me, most of the time it doesn't. And this time it definitely didn't, because it didn't really start out that way. So when she started to introduce more people, I was just like, can we stop? Like, I don't care. I thought the aspect of reading from the killer, like the anonymous killer, was interesting. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I thought that was an interesting piece, but it was so predictable. There were twists. It's just like, I don't know, guys. There were twists, but like they were so undermined because the big twist, like who the killer was so predictable and like so obvious for me from the get-go. I was never once caught off guard about it. I don't know. It makes sense. And like the motive is there. Nothing about it doesn't add up. So that's not what I have a problem with. It's just that it's like not that original. It's not that like different and mind-blowing. Just kind of like one of those thrillers. It's like a thriller for like a good wrap-up of a story. If you like those kinds of thriller murder mysteries, if you like them to have like a nice wrap-up. I personally don't think I like that. I just need there to be more like craziness and unpredictableness. So all that to say, I'm kind of really bashing on it, but like I am giving it 3 stars, which is a good rating. I know that has been like a hot topic lately. People are getting mad at people or just having a whole fit about rating books 3 stars, and people seem to be forgetting that is still a good rating. It's just like it is what it is kind of rating. It was a disappointment after a while, but I liked that it was easy to get into and that it was gripping in the beginning. I just don't like it when it gets me all excited and then it just like, you know? So that's what happened with this one. I don't know if I have anything else really to say. I still enjoy her writing, and I think she's a very easy author to read. Her, sentence structure, all that kind of like basic stuff, she does a great job at. So I'm going to be reading more from her. I do have Daisy Darker on my physical TBR. I have the book of the month copy, so I might read it for like a book of the month reading vlog soon. So I'm gonna read that and then like maybe check out some of her other books and stuff. But I read this one on Kindle Unlimited, so that was nice to just be able to download. But ultimately not a favorite, not one that I'm really going to think about ever again or recommend, honestly. So that's that. The other update is that I have read a little bit more of Divine Rivals. I made it up to about 25%. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's like okay right now, but it's not really giving me the vibes that I'm wanting it to give, and I don't completely understand what's going on. So I'll keep you updated on how that goes. I want to know your guys' thoughts if you've read Divine Rivals, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. I don't know. I think I might have different expectations for it, and I need to read more reviews, like spoiler-free reviews, or watch reading vlogs where people read it. So if you have any recommendations for that, I think I just need to get some other perspectives on it and like get me hyped for it. I don't know, I've just been seeing it all over Bookstagram and stuff, and the cover is super gorgeous. So I think that's like all I'm going off of right now, so we'll see. But I'm not planning to finish it for this vlog, obviously, because this is the end of the vlog, but I will keep you updated in my wrap up on here or on Instagram. I will be talking about it. So yes, make sure to follow me on Instagram if you're not already, at Sydney Page Books. But really quickly before I go, let's do like a quick wrap up from this vlog. I started out with Summer Rental by Rektok Ross, and I ended up DNFing this. So we're tossing that. We're not talking about it. And then I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I gave this 3.75 stars. Not like super amazing and great, but still good, still Riley Sager, and I still love him. And then I read His and Hers by Alice Feeney, and I gave that a generous 3 stars. And then I am about 25% of the way through Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. And that's everything that I read and talked about and reviewed in this vlog. That is going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, please let me know. If there are certain things you want to see more of, less of, I would love the feedback, honestly. So feel free to comment on here, or you can reach out to me on Instagram DMs or however. I would love to just know you guys' thoughts. And yeah, so I really appreciate you all hanging out with me, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!